Welcome to Nerdy Nakama. Hey everybody, here we are with another episode of Nerdy Nakama, and today we're going to be talking about Kimetsu No Yaiba, the most recent chapter that just came out.
Chapter 197. It's a
pretty
good chapter, not gonna lie.
Yeah, this fight is dragging out, long. It's like Goku versus Frieza all over again in DBZ.
Yeah, and honestly, the last chapter and this chapter didn't, almost no hits actually come to Muzan.
Nope, the only one, the biggest one came to Tanjiro with that shockwave. What
was that shockwave?
I don't know. I'm wondering that same thing because it was felt all the way by the guy who's playing Eyes with the Crows, you know? I mean, he even got hurt by the attack. So it was one hell of an attack. But with the way that the poison is affecting Muzan right now, I kind of think that shockwave, it was kind of one of those last-ditch efforts where he released a bunch of power to see, try and get everyone off him, but he released a little too much. I mean, the poison's obviously doing its thing, and he said his body was feeling heavier a little bit later on in the chapter, but I think part of it came from that shockwave, too. I think he expended a little too much energy.
Yeah, the shockwave, it reactivated kind of Tanjiro's, injury that Muzan already gave him, so he might have just been doing that to, recover, putting all his energy out. Hopefully it gets rid of the virus and everything.
Yeah, seeing if he could kind of purge it, almost because it was a blood demon art.
Yeah.
So, maybe he was trying to push this out with the shockwave. But I'm sad that Tanjiro's down and he wasn't able to connect those 12 forms.
He'll be back. We got the healer on the way. She's on the 12th, 13th chapter running back over here.
Yeah?
Nezuko still hasn't shown up. That's something that
I know.
really
We'll
needs
see
to happen.
what happens there. We still didn't see her all chapter, and that's a little scary. I mean, she's just laying out on the ground in the middle of a field. So
I feel like we're going to get a whole flashback to the past for her as well, since she already started remembering her family and stuff. She's going to have one of those human moments, and it's going to be a long while before we see her on this battlefield.
Yeah, because we saw her talk like a full sentence, whenever she had transformed back to human. I am Nezuko, and then she dropped.
Do you really think that she's going to be full human when she gets back?
Yeah. Yes, I see her being full human. I could also see her body having adjusted, and even though she may not be as strong as she was as a demon, she's going to be stronger than she was before she was a demon. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, that would be cool, but
taking away the demon form, her body still went through a lot, and it still still had to I guess, adapt a lot. And so even if you take away the thing that did the most, it still had to have gotten stronger from all that.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I just personally don't see her not being a demon anymore. I could see her being, part human and part demon and becoming, the best of both at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know how, Tanjiro's going to get that thing off of his eye if it isn't going to be her, demon art saving him,
Yeah, well, I wonder if when Muzan dies, that will die as well. That little piece of thing that's stuck to his eye, you know what I mean? Because, when Muzan dies, everyone else turns human. Well, wouldn't that mean that anything left with Muzan turns human if it doesn't just, kind of fall off and die?
Do you think that's also going to, when he gets killed, turns human, however they do it, do you think that it's going to make the other demons that are a lot older die? They're just going to turn to ash?
So I think it's possible. I think it's I think there's one of two scenarios. Either they immediately age, their body isn't, supported by the demonism anymore. And so they kind of age and turn to ash right there. The other thing could be that, they're the same age as whatever they were when they turned, and because their body has been preserved by the demonness.
So they'd get a second chance at being a human?
Exactly. And that's something I could almost see happening for the way that Tanjiro was all about redemption for even the ones that he
Yeah.
killed. You know, I mean, he was all about a demon in his last moments, feeling regret and all that stuff. I mean, they still deserve that. So I could see him, you know, if all the other demons were to be turned human, Tanjiro feeling that they deserve their second chance because a lot of them didn't really get one. I mean, some of them had crappy lives in the beginning, but a lot of them didn't really get the chance anyway, or the
Yeah, a
choice.
lot of those demon flashbacks just they purposefully make you feel bad for them. So you always look for, oh, what kind of bad backstory did this demon have?
Exactly. You know, they try and humanize them. So if they've spent the whole story humanizing all the demons that they've fought, I could totally see them really turning the demons to humans at the end of the story. You know what I mean? And giving them a second chance, having them coexist as people again.
That would be pretty cool. It would be
But
a lot less of a sad ending if that happens versus like all of the demons start dying. You see like bits and pieces of their regrets and their tears, and it would be like a bigger thing because Muzan wouldn't have that type of flashback because he's just a demon, but
mm-hmm.
like Tanjiro would be able to feel all the other people that are like relieved that they're no longer a demon. You know?
Yep. And I think that would be like the biggest win in Tanjiro's book, and maybe even the Demon Slayer core itself. But who knows who's going to be left alive at the end of this battle? I mean, we saw we saw Inosuke come in clutch this chapter and start attacking Muzan, and God, that was emotional, man. He was just crying about everybody who had gotten hurt and lost limbs, or what was it? He said, I think he said you've killed, and no, he said these are all people that I've shared meals with, and he starts crying.
Yeah, he's really torn up about it, and like he ran in there and then got snatched up by Muzan like he did. But
So bad.
I mean, what do you expect, man? You're not seeing through anybody yet, you know.
No, no. He at least put off some shots though. I mean, Zenitsu came in and he was nothing more than a pep talker.
Yeah, he got Insokue out of there with just one attack, but then like they didn't do much at all.
Mm-mm. They kind of just flopped around and kept him busy, you know. And then what I thought was crazy is how Tanjiro decided he needed to stab himself to cure the blood demon art.
Yeah, I think that would be cool if it works like that, but I doubt it's gonna get rid of all of it, you know.
Yeah, I could see, and if it does, I mean, obviously he's got a freaking sword wound now that's gonna be crippling him.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of Katakuri. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I gotta even this fight up a little bit.
See, I can't wait to see Muzan actually fail, but
Yeah,
it's gonna be a while.
it's gonna be emotional for sure, and I don't know. I mean, we'll see how long it is, but I expect we'll get some sort of flashback before he dies. Nothing major, if anything, but maybe something with how he met his wife and got his kid, or maybe I don't know. Did we see that already?
I'm not sure if we saw anything really like about his backstory. I can't remember any of
I know there
that.
was I know there was definitely some flashbacks where you see him in the past,
Yeah.
but I don't know if we got any of his flashbacks
No, I don't
that
think
are really
we
diving
did.
deep.
I think we saw. We only saw one of the demon girls turn against him, and that's when he was fighting that other guy, and he had to split his body apart. But I feel like that's the closest to like his origin that we got.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I could see us getting something. Maybe his parents, or maybe, like I said, how he met his family, or I don't know, something like that.
Was he always a demon though? Like, did he start
No,
somewhere?
no, I think the story with Muzan is that he was getting sick or something like that, and so a doctor gave him this concoction,
Oh
experimented on him,
yeah,
and it turned him into a demon. But at that point, even though he was living forever, he couldn't go outside, so he just felt cursed.
you right. I remember that now, and that actually plays in really well to like he already has a sad backstory, so we might just see something really depressing when he actually dies.
Yeah, so like, and I can't remember. Like I said, I know that we were told some of his backstory. I just can't remember how much of it we were shown. So I'm just trying to, decide what bits and pieces we might see, because we'll get something. If it's going to be one of two things, either half a chapter or 3 chapters.
3 chapters of Muzan backstory.
I mean, it's just
Damn.
how things seem to go. It's we're either gonna get a little bit or a decent little chunk. I think
I mean, I could get down with a 3 chapter backstory of Muzan. That's like
they've humanized everybody in this whole manga. I could see them trying to do it to Muzan at some point, but he was just evil too. So I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to decide there.
like just imagine if he was completely abandoned, by his family and everything when he got sick, and like he took a shot with something and he was going to go back to them, but he never could, just because like the whole light situation and everything. I feel like that would be kind of touching. I mean, obviously done
Yeah,
better
well,
with
and
them, but
maybe all the demons had that thirst that they couldn't control. What if he had to get his under control at first too? What if he killed some people close to him?
oh man, just slaughtered his whole family without even meaning to.
Yeah. Like, hey guys, I'm better.
I mean, I could also see like trying to go and make it sadder. Like he tries to go back to his family, but then they like call him all sorts of monster and everything, and they disown him.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be really painful. And then like a whole thirst comes in, so like he can't control himself, but then he's seeing himself as right for killing them.
He wants revenge while at the same time being driven for that thirst.
Yeah, that would be pretty fucked
That
up.
would make. Yeah, I could see that for sure, and then afterwards kind of coming to grips with what he just did, and that kind of changed who he became.
Yeah, they
Changed him into who he became, I guess.
there's so much you could do with Muzan right now. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, but at the end of this chapter, we saw a few other swordsmen getting up. Tamioka, I think is how you say his name, and Guillaume. I think Guillaume's gonna die next chapter.
Man, don't say that.
I do.
Gosh, you gonna break my heart, man.
I know. So like, there's a few thoughts here. So first, I mean, Muzan, like I said, towards the end of this chapter, he said that he was feeling heavy and he couldn't move. I'm thinking that shockwave took a lot of energy out of him. You know what I mean? So it's very possible that using that shockwave attack, slowed and crippled Muzan as much as it hurt everybody else. While it took everyone away from being able to hurt Muzan does not have the ability to run like he did. So I think Tamioka and Guillaume are going to come in and they're going to start messing him up a little bit, but something's going to happen. And I think one of them's going down for sure. If not Guillaume, because he's the best, the top, the number one, then it's going to be Tamioka because he's the one from the very beginning who saved Tanjiro and Nezuko. And that would just be emotional for a final battle.
Yo, imagine if Nezuko gets there, and right when she gets there, like, Tamioka gets killed. So they both see it.
Exactly.
That would be super messed up.
So I think they're going to hold off Muzan a little bit longer, just enough time for Tanjiro or whoever to do what they need to in the end. But I do think Tamioka or Guillaume are going down next chapter. He got down, or he had the very last panel in the chapter. He had the biggest piece. Yeah. He's going to be a focus in next chapter, him and Tamioka. But Guillaume for sure, because they showed his blind ass getting up at the end with his weapon in hand.
Like that chain going in his mouth, like bloody.
Exactly.
Man, he looked so cool in that thing. It just,
But like, I feel like that's also the kind of panel you see at the end of a chapter that preps you for something bad happening to him next chapter. Like, he's going to go out badass. He's going to do something, but he might be going out.
Gosh, at least my sound pillar guy's alive. And, he just seems far away for this fight. I'm cool with that.
He's probably out under some tree with his 3 wives.
He never even has to worry about these demons
guy.
anymore,
No, he's just out. Oh, man. Freaking guy.
It would be cool if they brought him back into this.
Yeah, I mean, he'd come.
And they got word of it somehow.
Come in clutch, It'd be nice for them to get some sort of help at least, because they're all losing limbs out here. I'm surprised that Zenitsu and Inosuke were even able to take those hits, but it's just like Muzan said, he's getting weak. None of them are even as strong as Yoroichi. I believe I said that name wrong, but the guy that almost killed him all those years ago that taught everyone the breathing techniques.
Yeah.
He said that no one's as strong as he was, but because of all the poisons, their attacks might as well be.
Man, I need to see Tanjiro be as strong as that guy was back in the day. I need to see him really just cut Muzan, and Muzan just be like, wow, hold up.
Well,
this is
the
it.
problem is even Muzan said that he needs to counteract that poison, and that's going to take time. So I don't think that poison's going to do like for Tanjiro to get that strong and for it to like be shown, the poison would have to not be on Muzan. I think that since the poison's on Muzan, I guess even if Tanjiro does get that strong, we'll never truly know because the poison's crippling Muzan so bad. And I don't think that there's any way for it to happen. Plus, it would take away from Tamiyo's death and how menacing that girl looks at the beginning of the chapter, getting ready to claw his eye. Oh, dude, I love it.
Yeah, those actually those first 2 pages were some of my favorite in the like art style sense.
I love how they can just keep talking to each other, and like usually it's like the demon seems to pull the people out and kind of just berate them or treat them like shit or whatever because they ate them and they're still in their consciousness or whatever's going on there. But Tamiyo's just coming out and bugging the hell out of Muzan and being just a creepy bitch. Excuse my language.
Yeah, seeing her like fingers digging into his skin and everything, it just like zooming into that panel on his eye, like you see the panic in his eye right there. It's amazing.
I love it.
And then just that second page, the way like the mist is going and then it shows the swords, that actually low-key reminded me of One Piece in the like near the beginning of the Wano arc. Because like they have their own panels with just swords, and I just always love seeing swords just floating like that.
Well, this is definitely the manga for swords. I think we're gonna see some red blades soon. Well, they'll be black, but they'll be red in theory. So yeah, what's up with Nezuko? She's still just passed out on the ground, you think? Because it's been like a chapter or two now, and we haven't had anything.
I think there's gonna be like something passed down or talked to, and she's gonna like have some inner moment of like, this is what my family's always been done, kind of like what Tanjiro did, but like from the female side. So it's like it would make sense that kinda she's still like passed out right now.
Kind of like how things got passed down and Tanjiro got the dance. Maybe Nezuko has some sort of supporting role that she knew from all the way back then that she had forgotten until recently.
Yeah, because like you see the demons, all that spiritual like tying, when they eat somebody they can speak with them and all of that. When Tanjiro's been killing people, he's kind of been let into their world and everything. And then on the train arc, don't want to say too much since it's going into the movie soon.
Yes.
But like that bit too, they had a whole real spiritual side, and I feel like Nezuko's gonna have some major awakening with the spiritual side, and is really gonna like get in touch with Tanjiro and snap him out of like this whole wound situation.
Yeah, because it's, you know, we've obviously seen some afterlife or subconscious type fucking with when it comes to their family, like even Nezuko when she's in the tree. Or the spider webs, I'm sorry, earlier on in the manga, when they're fighting that spider family, and her mom comes to her when she's hanging upside down, all tied up in the webs, and says, "Your brother needs you, your brother needs you," and that's the first time she uses that blood demon art.
Yeah, so she's going through an awakening right now, without a doubt.
It's obvious that the afterlife has some sort of role to play, whether it's in their head, whether it's, you know, really beings coming and messing with them, But I'm excited to see what happens next chapter because Muzan is not running. There's 25 minutes left, and Tomioka and Guillaume are getting back up.
Oh, man. It would be great to see Tomioka and Guillaume actually take out some of the hearts or brains of Muzan.
I definitely think they're going to do some damage. I definitely think it's going to come at a cost.
Man, stop saying that. You're trying to kill him off already.
It's going to happen, man. It's going to happen. One of them at least, for sure.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Who do you hope would die more? Who do you want to live more, actually? Let me phrase that right.
I want Guillaume to live more. And I think Tomioka's death would be more meaningful to Tanjiro and Nezuko, seeing as how he saved him in the beginning and put him on that whole quest. And then, in the end, died to save everybody.
I could get that.
Especially after being such a coward for so long. You know, how long was he like, I don't deserve this spot. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve that. I'm not a pillar. Yada, yada. Cry for me.
Yeah, his death would actually be extremely emotional for the entire, like, narrative of the story. But, like, I'm looking at the few characters that were in this chapter, and we see Insokue and Zenitsu. Those both got trained by Guillaume, so if Guillaume were to die, it would definitely boost them and like have them trying their hardest to like avenge that, and they would definitely feel that.
I definitely see those two staying alive though.
Yeah,
At the
without a
end of the
doubt.
story. But the rest of the pillars are questionable. We'll have to see.
I really want the end of this story to show like Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu all being pillars as well. Like that would be real nice.
Well, there's really no need for the Demon Slayer core after this either, though.
It's true.
So
You just
maybe
breaking my heart on every level.
maybe they'll go live quiet lives after this. Okay, Inosuke won't. That's for sure.
Yeah, I was like, I can't see this. I can't see him living a quiet life after anything. Maybe running around in the wilderness.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't know. I could see all these guys living together and being a family after it's all said and done.
if an Inosuke is in the woods yelling and nobody's around to hear it, did he ever make a noise?
He would probably say, "Shut up, bastard."
Well, that is the right answer for that question.
Oh man, I'm excited for next week's chapter though.
See, I'm just trying to think like, how has Inosuke's blades not broken? Like they're so messed up. The shattered, like jagged blades.
Yeah, because he takes a rock to him.
And I feel like with that, like it would just be easier for Muzan to be able to break them, you know? Especially seeing as it's Muzan.
Well, maybe it's Inosuke's breathing style. I don't know.
Do you think Inosuke and Zenitsu are going to like be able to see that like realm?
I don't know. I could see Tanjiro doing it. I don't know about those two because it's already been made clear that they don't even need it.
Yeah.
See, because the aging poison that's in Muzan right now has caused all the scars to show up, so they can actually see all the spots on his physical body.
Yeah. But we see all the great demon slayers actually using that like ability, or at least having
True.
it. So I was just hoping that they were getting
No. I do think Tanjiro will for sure. But even Muzan pointed out that none of these guys are as powerful as the demon slayers of the past. It's just the poison that's allowing them to do all this. So I don't think that Zenitsu and Inosuke will. I think Tanjiro will, because he's obviously the descendant of Yoruichi, or at least of the earrings and everything. But I don't know about Inosuke and Zenitsu.
That's true. You know, I just see Inosuke as like the guy who's so connected to the wilderness that he'll be able to see it because like some natural thing, like eventually. But
yeah, I just think
reasonable.
that they're not at that point. I think the fight happened too early, and Tamayo's drug is really the only thing that's let them keep up.
I guess I'm just hoping for more story after this arc. You know, I don't know why, because like this is the final villain. If Muzan actually goes down, there's nothing else to like go after at all.
Well, there's 25 minutes left. He can't run, and other demon slayers are about to join the fight again. So
This may just spell the end for Muzan.
I think it is. We'll have to see starting next week. So
Man, and it's been we've been here for so long though, so we're probably still gonna be here for at least until the end of the year.
Oh, I would think so. I mean, like I said, we're going to get a few chapters, I think, of his backstory and everything, but I think here soon we're going to have an idea of what's going on for sure, of what's going on with Muzan for sure. I'd see the manga ending by the end of the year, though, and that's with the wrap-up. Kind of like at the end of Naruto, you have to watch everyone get married and have their last, settling of life.
You mean watch Boruto?
No.
That's the end of Naruto, man. What?
We don't discuss that. That's blasphemy.
Blasphemy and Boruto start with a B, so I get it.
Shoot. Well, we'll have to see what happens next week when the next chapter drops, chapter 198. And I think it's March 15th when that should be out.
So no big wait for this next chapter?
No, shouldn't be.
Nice.
But we'll be back next week to talk about that chapter as well. Hey everybody, thank you for checking out the podcast today, and if you like what you heard, you can always find more episodes on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. Please give us a like and subscribe, and always watch out for more content. Thank you.